The city of various grays moved fast around Arthur. At 70 years old, he had become part of the pavement, a static fixture on the corner of 3rd Avenue, sitting on a wooden crate that had seen better decades. His world was knee-high. He knew the city not by its faces but by its shoes. He knew the hurried, rhythmic clacking of the lawyers, the silent, weary shuffle of the nurses, and the erratic, joyful stomping of school children. Arthur was a cobbler. His hands, stained permanently with black polish and smelling of adhesive, were maps of his life. Every callus told a story of hard work. Every scar was a memory of a slip of the awl. It was a Tuesday and the wind bit through his thin tweed jacket. Arthur counted his takings for the day. 3 customers. 12 coins. It was enough for half a loaf of bread and perhaps a small cup of tea, but not enough for the one thing he actually wanted: a stamp. In his breast pocket, wrapped in a layer of plastic to protect it from the damp, was a letter. He had written it over the course of a week, struggling with the arthritis in his fingers, to his daughter who lived across the ocean. He hadn't seen her in 10 years. The letter didn't ask for money. It simply said, "I am well. I am proud of you. Don't worry about me." He needed 3 more coins for the postage. The sun began to dip, casting long, cold shadows across the avenue. People rushed home, ignoring the old man with the tin of polish. Just as Arthur began to pack his tools, his brushes, his awl, his thread, a shadow fell over him. He looked up to see a young man, perhaps 20. He wore a cheap, ill-fitting suit that looked borrowed. His shoes were the tragedy. The sole of the right shoe was flapping open like a hungry mouth. "Can you fix it?" the young man asked. His voice shook. "I have a job interview in 20 minutes. I can't walk in there like this." Arthur looked at the shoe. It was synthetic leather, cheap and falling apart. It required strong glue and careful stitching. It was a 20-minute job. "I can," Arthur said, his voice raspy from disuse. "How much?" the boy asked, clutching a briefcase that looked empty. Arthur looked at the boy's eyes. They held a familiar terror, the terror of wanting a chance and being afraid the world would deny it because of how you looked. Arthur knew that look. He had worn it himself 40 years ago. If he charged the standard rate, he would have his stamp. He could mail the letter. He could tell his daughter he was okay. Arthur looked at the 12 coins in his own tin. Then he looked at the boy's knuckles, white from gripping the briefcase. "Sit," Arthur commanded gently. He went to work. He didn't rush. He cleaned the dust from the tear, applied the adhesive with the precision of a surgeon, and hammered the sole back into place. He polished the cheap material until it gleamed with a dignity it didn't possess on the shelf. When he finished, the shoes looked decent. Respectable. The boy stood up, relief washing over his face. He dug into his pocket and pulled out a handful of copper coins. "Change, really? This is all I have right now. Is it enough?" Arthur looked at the coppers. It wasn't enough for the glue he had used, let alone the labor. It certainly wasn't enough for the stamp. Arthur pushed the boy's hand away gently. "Keep it," Arthur said. "You'll need the bus fare to get to the interview on time." "But—" "Go," Arthur said, a small, toothless smile breaking through his gray beard. "Walk tall. That's the payment. The walk home." The boy ran off, turning back once to wave, his shoes clicking solidly against the pavement. Arthur packed his box. The streetlights flickered on. He was hungry, and his letter would have to wait another week. Maybe 2. He walked to the bakery to buy his half-loaf of stale bread. As he walked, the cold wind didn't feel quite as biting. He touched the letter in his pocket. He couldn't send it yet, but the lie he had written in it, "I am well," felt for the first time in years like the truth. He had no money, but he had given a young man his dignity back. And that, Arthur decided as he merged into the shadows of the city, made him the richest man on 3rd Avenue.